Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Prajatana Anjana. Yashodanandana Prajatana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanatari. Yamuna Tira Vanatari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. जय श्री श्री राधा माधव की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit, London, A Dream Fulfilled. When George, John, and Yoko dropped by after Prabhupada's lunch, Shyam Sundar invited them to come up and meet Prabhupada. George turned to John and asked, "Do you want to go up?" The bearded, bespectacled master of Tittenhurst, hair down to his shoulders, assented. Yoko also was curious. So up they all went to Prabhupada's little room. Smiling graciously from behind his desk, Prabhupada asked his guests to enter and be seated. Here were two of the most famous people in England, and Krishna wanted him to speak to them. Prabhupada removed his garland and handed it to Shyam Sundar, indicating that he should put it around George's neck. "Thank you," said George. "Hare Krishna." Prabhupada smiled. "This is Krishna's blessing." "Hare Krishna," George replied again. "Yes," Prabhupada says. There is a verse in Bhagavad Gita, Yad Yad Achrati Shreshtas Tat तेव एव तरुजना स यत् प्रमाणम कुरुते लोकस्तद अनुवर्तते. The idea is that anything which is accepted by the leading persons, ordinary persons follow them. Yad yad acharati shrestha. Shrestha means leading person. Acharati means act. Whatever leading persons act, people in general follow them. If the leading person says it is nice, then it is all right. The others also accept it. So, by the grace of God, Krishna, you are leaders. Thousands of young men follow you. They like you. So if you give them something actually nice, the face of the world will change. Although George and John were about the same age as most of Prabhupada's disciples, Prabhupada considered them Shreshtas, respected leaders. You are also anxious to bring some peace in the world, Prabhupada continued. I have read sometimes your statement. You are anxious also. Everyone is. Every saintly person should be anxious to bring in peace in the world. But we must know the process. He explained the peace formula according to Bhagavad Gita. Only those who recognize the Supreme Personality of Godhead as a proprietor of everything, the object of all sacrifices, and the friend of everyone can find peace. Prabhupada then told the two Beatles even more directly what he had already hinted at. They should learn Krishna consciousness and help teach it to the world. I request you to at least understand this philosophy to your best knowledge. He said, if you think it is nice, pick it up. You are also willing to give something to the world, so try this. You have read our books, this Bhagavad Gita as it is? John. I have read bits of Bhagavad Gita. I don't know which version it was. There are so many different translations. Prabhupada. There are different translations. Therefore, I have given this edition, Bhagavad Gita as it is. Srila Prabhupada Leelamrit ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, The Creative Impetus, Chapter 5, Lord Rishabhadev's Teachings, verse number 8. पुंस स्त्रिया मिथुनि भावमेतं तयोर्मिथो हृदय ग्रंथिमाहु अतो ग्रह क्षेत्र सुताप्त वित्तैर् जनस मोहो अयम अहम ममेति. पुंस स्त्रिया मिथुनि भावमेतं तयोर्मिथो हृदय ग्रंथियाहुम् अतो ग्रह क्षेत्र सुताप्त वित्तैर् जनस मोहो अयम अहम ममेति. पुंस स्त्रिय मिथुनि भावमेतं तयोर्मिथो हृदय ग्रंथिमाहु अतो ग्रह क्षेत्र सुताप्त वित्तैर् जनस्य मोहो अयम अहम ममेति।
पुंसहस्रमिथुनि भावमेतम्
पुंसः स्त्रियमिथुनि भावमेतम्।
तयोर्मिथो हृदयग्रन्थिमहु
तयोर्मिथो हृदयग्रन्थिमाहुः।
यतो ग्रहक्षेत्रसुताप्तवित्ते
तो ग्रहक्षेत्रसुताप्तवित्ते।
जनस्य मोहोऽयमहं ममेति।
धनस्य मोहोऽयम् अहं ममेति। पुंसः स्त्रियमिथुनि भावमेतम्। तयो हृदयग्रन्थिमाहुः। ततो ग्रहक्षेत्रसुताप्तवित्ते। जनस्य मोहो अयम् अहं ममेति। पुंस्त्रियामिथुनि भावमेतम्। तयोर्मिथो हृदयग्रन्थिमाहुः। ततो गृहक्षेत्रसुताप्तवित्ते। जनस्य मोहो अयम् अहं ममेति।
ममेति।
Pumsa of a male, Priya of a female, Mithuni Bhavam, attraction for sexual life, Etam, this, Tayo, of both of them, Mitha, between one another, Hridaya Granthim, the knot of the heart, Ahu, they call, Ataha, thereafter, Griha, by home, Kshetra, field, Suta, children, Apta, relatives, Vittaya, and by wealth, Janasya, of the living being, Moha, illusion, Ayam, this, Aham, I, Mama, mine, Iti, thus. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Translation. The attraction between male and female is the basic principle of material existence. On the basis of this misconception, which ties together the hearts of the male and female, one becomes attracted to his body, home, property, children, relatives, and wealth. In this way, one increases life's illusions and thinks in terms of I and mine. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Sex serves as a natural attraction between man and woman, and when they are married, their relationship becomes more involved. Due to the entangling relationship between man and woman, there is a sense of illusion whereby one thinks this man is my husband or this woman is my wife. This is called Hridaya Granthi, the hard knot in the heart. This knot is very difficult to undo. Even though a man and woman separate either for the principles of Varnashram or simply to get a divorce, in any case, the man always thinks of the woman and the woman always thinks of the man. Thus, a person becomes materially attached to family, property, and children. Although all of these are temporary, The possessor unfortunately identifies with his property and wealth. Sometimes, even after renunciation, one becomes attached to a temple or to the few things that constitute the property of a sannyasi. But such attachment is not as strong as family attachment. The attachment to the family is the strongest illusion. In the Satya Samhita, it is stated, Brahma Adya Yagna Valakadaya Muchyante Sri Sahayina Bodhyante Kecha Naitesham Vishesham Cha Vido Vidu. Sometimes it is found among exalted personalities like Lord Brahma that the wife and children are not a cause of bondage. On the contrary, the wife actually helps further spiritual life and liberation. Nonetheless, most people are bound by the knots of the marital relationship and consequently they forget their relationship with Krishna. Om Agyantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So in eighth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a pastime of Gajendra, the elephant. Gajendra is very huge and powerful elephant, very strong. And one day Gajendra enters the water in the river, and there one huge crocodile. He attacks the elephant and takes one of the leg of the elephant in his mouth and starts pulling the elephant inside the water. And Gajendra is also very powerful. So he tried to resist and defend and try to come out of the river. And this duck keeps on going for 1,000 years.
В рюкзачке лежит рядом с диваном.
1,000 years, when the tug is going on, the crocodile,
Заодно загляни в
or
духовку.
this water animal, it continues to get nourishment from water. So it remains strong. Thank you. So the crocodile in the water continues to get nourishment, to remain strong. But the elephant is a land animal. It is not getting any nourishment in water. It becomes weaker and weaker and weaker. In the same way, we are fighting with Maya. The conditioned soul is under the influence of Maya. We discussed Avran Atmika Shakti and Prekshapak Atmika Shakti. The covering potency and the pulling down potency. The Maya covers our real knowledge that I am servant of Krishna, and we get involved in sense enjoyment. That's Avran Atmika, covering potency. And if at all somebody tries to come out of the influence of Maya, Maya increases the force and pulls the person down. That's Prekshapakatmika Shakti, pulling down potency. So when we are practicing spiritual life, we are directly with war on Maya, just like the elephant is in war with crocodile. And in this war, if we have to win, then we should not become weak during the war. The elephant became weak. Why? Because it is land animal and elephant was fighting in water. In the same way, there are two ashrams, Brahmachari and Grahas, and they are helping us to support the fight. If somebody is in Brahmachari ashram and is fighting with Maya and he becomes weak, that means he is in wrong ashram. So he should go to Grahastha ashram. And there he should take support of his partner and fight with Maya strongly. So the goal is not to be a brahmachari and or a grahastha. The goal is to fight with Maya strongly and be victorious. So brahmachari ashram means celibacy. Brahmachari ashram requires disciplined life, waking up early morning, and dedicated serving to the spiritual master, no bank account or no Lakshmi or no earning activities, simple living, renounced, clean, obedient to the spiritual master, and only engage in Krishna service, reading scriptures, chanting the holy name, and doing preaching activities or assisting in preaching activities. And Grahastha ashram, there is earning, and there is house, and there are children, there are social activities, there is charity, there is sexual life, and Krishna consciousness with it, worshipping the deities and serving the Lord. So somebody whose enthusiasm, whose physical strength, whose sensual strength reduces in one ashram, it can go to another ashram and fight with Maya very strongly. So in Bhagavad Gita, third chapter, Arjuna is asking a question that, my dear Krishna, sometimes I don't want to commit sinful activities, but still I am forced to commit. What is that force? And Krishna says that is lust. Lust is very powerful, formidable enemy. And because of lust, a person commits sinful activities. And it is very much um influencing us in the form of sexual attraction. A boy and a girl get attraction to each other's body to touch and enjoy, and that is considered the greatest attraction in this material world. This material world is considered a prison, but we don't see the chains which are binding us. That chains are lust, sexual attraction. That is even visible in animal kingdom. The sexual attraction is so powerful that person forgets his real goal of life. So for a male, the highest attack of lust is when the male gets attracted to more than one female. And that is sure shot, guaranteed confirmation to go to hellish planet and suffer. But the same male, if he marries a chaste woman, a chaste girl, then that girl satisfies him and also makes sure he doesn't get attracted to any other girl. Females have that kind of skills and talent and qualities, feminine qualities, to not only satisfy their husband, but also be very, very alert if the husband gets attracted to some other ladies. They have a special sensor by which they keep alerting themselves or doubting if the husband is talking to somebody on phone in private or coming late to home or something like that, they become alert. So sometimes they seem to be possessive and doubting the husband, but this is all helpful so that the husband is protected. So the husband will think twice before getting involved, knowing well that my wife will come to know and there will be a quarrel and she has fear of disturbing the peace of the house. So, just like earlier, the king would stay in a fort, Durg, and the fort will protect the king because the enemy cannot penetrate the fort easily because of thick walls and high security and less number of gates and lots of soldiers and with weapons, sometimes automatic weapons. The wife is a fort for the husband who, when attacked by lust, can get involved with multiple females and go to hell. The wife protects the husband not to go to hell. Wife protects the husband from the most formidable enemy, lust. So anyone who protects me from the most formidable enemy is my best friend. So husband should look at wife as a best friend who is protecting me from going to hell. And the same way, wife should look at husband as a best friend who is protecting me to go to hell. They protect each other. They may have some unpleasant experiences with each other or quarrel with each other, but they are each other's well-wishers and they protect each other so that not deviate from the path of varnashram, not deviate from morality. So for that, both need to be trained. The training of a boy child is celibacy, and the education training of the girl child is chastity. If till marriage the boy is celibate and the girl has uh, learned chastity from her mother, then that combination of a celibate boy and a chaste girl is best to practice Krishna consciousness in a very nice grahastha ashram, where the husband is trained in brahmacharya life and is a great devotee of Krishna, and a wife is trained in being chaste. So when husband is devotee of Krishna and wife is devotee of husband, that's perfect grahastha. So both together serve Krishna. Krishna is in the center. The deities are in the center. And husband, wife, children, they serve Krishna. So that house is Vaikuntha. I gave the example like I have two hands, left hand and right hand. If the left hand is wounded, the right hand applies bandage. If the right hand is wounded, the left hand apply bandage. Both the hands take care of each other and both the hands feed the stomach. So husband wife should lovingly take care of each other and both together feed stomach. Who is the stomach? Krishna. So husband procures material, wife cooks, and they offer and do arti, and the whole family have prasadam. And a grahastha should invite sadhus in the house and again and again hear from them about Krishna and offer them prasadam and invite neighbors and relatives and friends to hear from the sadhu, and also be very compassionate to everybody, including beggars or dogs or and living other living entities, animals, and feed them prasad and keep the house like a temple with Krishna in the center and everybody bowing down, everybody attending arti, everybody clapping in kirtan and singing and shopping for Krishna and serving the deity, decorating the deity, making garlands, offering flowers and fruit and having prasadam. And never make life so complicated that this bhakti is disturbed. That's perfect grahastha ashram. Unfortunately, materialistic people who keep, instead of Krishna, lust in the center, their life is very cumbersome and complicated. Whole day they want to work very hard so that they get money to enjoy on the weekend. And they will drink and smoke and eat in the restaurant and try to have opulent items and then have sex life at night. And they think this is life. This is animals. Eating, sleeping, mating, depending. That is animal life. So what if you're eating in a restaurant? So what you are sleeping on a mattress? And so what you're having sex in an apartment? And so what you're depending with guns or lock or CCTV camera? You're still eating, sleeping, mating, depending. That is highly irresponsible, highly foolish way to live life. That will give lots and lots of miseries to that grahastha. Any person who keeps life goal as sense enjoyment or lusty activities will always be miserable. So because of that lust, the man and woman, they marry, and because they engage in sexual activity, there is a big knot of attachment, hriday granthi. Now it's very difficult to forget that enjoyment, forget that pleasure. So they want to maintain that sex life. So to maintain that sex life, they want to have a house. And to have a house, they want to have a mortgage. And to have a mortgage, they need to have a job. And to have a job, they have to have a car. And they have to work hard to give the mortgage, to give the fuel, to give the electricity bill, to give the maintenance bill. And whole life is struggle, paying bills, bills, bills. We have this uh, four miseries: birth, death, old age, disease. We should make it five: birth, death, bills, old age, disease. It's a miserable thing to go on making complicated life and paying bills. Hridaya Granthi means the knot in the heart. If two parts of threads are tied with a knot, then if they are attached, it's very difficult to untie them or pull them apart. And then the husband and wife have one more child. That becomes another knot. So a knot on the knot. Then they have another child, a third knot. That is big, big, strong Hridaya Granthi. And because they're attached to each other, then there is attachment to home. Because without home, where will they stay? A single boy can stay under a tree, but a couple cannot stay. Then they are attached to the home, then the surroundings and the property, then the car. Then they want somebody to see their home. That I have a nice home, somebody should come and see. So their social status. They don't decorate the home for themselves. They want somebody to see. I got a new car, somebody should come and see. Social status, reputation, friends. Somebody should tell me I am good, and I should go to somebody and say, you are good. So we need those friends. If somebody comes and says you are nonsense, we don't want the such friend. If a sadhu comes and says what nonsense you are doing, we don't want such a guest. We want somebody to come and say very good, good house, good car, good life. We want somebody to come and say it. And we go to somebody. All hypocrisy. Then relatives and social status and reputation and name and fame. Where is Krishna here? He's gone. So this is very big futility. And this can be avoided only before marriage there is training. The boy is sent to Gurukul and trained as a brahmachari. And the girl is trained with her own mother in the house as a chaste lady. In the absence of this, marriage system is becoming very big struggle today. And blame is going to so many different factors. Maybe modern education, maybe Kali Yuga, modern age. Nowadays boys are like this, nowadays girls are like this. But basically the very system of education for little children has been broken. So Hridaya Granthi, and when the knot is there, all these attachments are there, what starts is I, me, my, mine. This is my, this are your. My house, your house. My children, your children. My money, your money. And this starts enmity. This starts enviousness. This starts hatred. This starts discrimination. And people become isolated from their neighbors or their relations. My enjoyment is different from your enjoyment. If you are not favorable to my enjoyment, I don't like you. And if I am not favorable to your enjoyment, we are not friends. Aham mameti, I, me, my, mine. And because of this, a person stays in the material world. Parikshit Maharaj, he asked Sukdev Goswami this question, that the soul is Satchit Anand, spiritual. And material world is matter made of 24 elements. Soul is conscious, this is unconscious. They have no compatibility. So how can they be together for so long? As if there is some glue. They are not able to come out of each other, even though there is no compatibility between them. So what is keeping them together? As Sukdev Goswami says, what is keeping them together? Aham mameti, मैं और मेरा. In English it becomes I, me, my, oh, मैं और मेरा, my, मेरा, me and mine. So because of this, there is attachment. Why you are going back to the same address today? My house. Why you are going to the same room today? My room. Why are you going to the same bed today? My bed. So this I, me, my, mine. So at some point, a grahastha should learn to retire, give up this attachment, travel to pilgrimage places or stay in a temple or close to a temple, and whole day serve the temple, just go to the house for sleeping or minimum thing. And that we get attached to Krishna. We get busy in Krishna service and chant and hear and serve the deities and the devotee, like many of you are doing here. That is perfect life. To give up social obligations, to give up earning life when we are retired and just serve Krishna. And a man should get sannyas, should be renounced, even give up um, retired family life and just be away from home, away from sense enjoyment, away from sense objects, have no property, no money, no bank account, nothing. And just serve Krishna, travel and see with minimum item. That is perfect life. So the Hridaya Granthi has to become loose. The Hriday Granthi has to be cut, and that's only possible by Tibbre na Bhakti Yogena. Very intensely we should practice bhakti. We should not take this process lightly. That if it happens, it's fine. If it doesn't happen, I'll take one more birth. We don't know next birth where we will be and what will be the condition of this world in Kali Yuga, and whether we'll get association of devotees. We don't know. So now we should be very, very serious and take Krishna consciousness extremely serious, extremely grave, and make sure our 16 rounds are done very nicely. Our Mangalarati Guru Puja hearing is done nicely. We follow co-regulative principles, and whatever is favorable to our bhakti, we accept it, and whatever is unfavorable, we reject it. So devotee should be highly determined to follow everything perfectly, so that by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we become successful. By causeless mercy of Krishna, we get Krishna Prem and go back to Krishna. No more birth. One more birth, again the whole cycle of birth and death will continue. Again the whole cycle of struggles will continue. So enough is enough. Krishna is waiting for us in spiritual world, Golok Vrindavan. For each one of us, Krishna is waiting. Do you know since how many years he is waiting? 1 year, 2 years? He is waiting for us since millions of years. That when will this soul come back to me? What is she doing in Auckland? Waiting. Now my question is, how much more longer you want Krishna to wait for? Forget love in Krishna. At least courtesy wise, we should go back and say, why are you waiting? Tell me, sir. At least courtesy wise, we should go back. If somebody is waiting for me 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 hours, 10 hours, at least courtesy wise, I should come outside my door and say, sir, why are you waiting for me? Even if I am not interested. Krishna is waiting for us. We have to go back and ask him, my dear Prabhu, why are you waiting for me? He loves us. So one who is loving us so much, how we can keep him waiting? Urgent matter. We are already delayed by millions of years. We should be very serious. Go back to Krishna this life. He is waiting for us. And when you go back, Krishna will be so happy. With tears in his eyes, he will come and embrace and tell us, hey, Nitya Gopal, where were you? So many years I am waiting. Come have nice peace. Let's go back and have that peace. Let's not make him wait more. So we should be determined. This life, last life. No more womb of the mother. No more birth in this material world. And Srila Prabhupada has made it very easy. Every day Mangalarti, chanting, hearing, co-regulative principles, and we go back to Krishna. Not because we are great, but because he has blessed this process and the person who is performing this. Let's do it. Okay? We'll end here. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Before I take questions, I want to thank all the devotees in the temple as well as on Zoom and otherwise other places. My visit to Auckland was very nice. So many devotees assisted me in so many services, including prasadam, transportation, dakshina, and other services, and eagerly heard and asked questions. So that is purifying for me. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Any questions? I will take.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you very much for visiting Auckland. Please grace us again and give us your association and blessings. So Prabhuji, I just had a quick question. You mentioned that if a brahmachari is weak, then that means he's in the wrong ashram. That if a brahmachari is weak, you mentioned that he's in the wrong ashram. He should be a grihastha. But what if a grihastha is weak? Which ashram should he take, and what should he do to fight against Maya?
See, the weakness is because of lust. If a brahmachari's lust is disturbing so much that he has no enthusiasm for anything in the day, that is his weakness. Similarly, for grihastha generally has a way to satisfy lust with his wife, and then he has to maintain. So that keeps him occupied and takes care. And he adds Krishna consciousness to his day. That takes care. If he is too much attached, still he should restrain himself. He should take help from devotees. But like I know one boy, uh, he was a bit challenged. He was very nice devotee, but always thinking of some sexual enjoyment. So once I told him, if you marry, all this will stop. But he said, no, no, it will increase. So of course he married, and 1 week later he messaged me, "Prabhu, you were correct. Now I'm not even thinking about this. My day is very peaceful. It's like some satisfaction is there, and then the mind is settled. So that's possible. But in any case, both of them, brahmachari or grahastha, should take shelter of Krishna consciousness. Marriage is not the solution in that sense. Marriage is not for lust, but it's for having a platform where we can continue fight with Maya. And how do we fight with Maya? By practicing. Like if you're not eaten since few days, then everybody's plate, your glance, your eye will go. What the other person is eating. But if you're full, then you may have less attraction. Anything else? Okay. We'll end here. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Grace Gokuleswar Prabhuji ki jai.